Just kind of what's going through your mind there with Gilbert, that sequence that he had, reaching second on the throw and error, and then turning around talking to the shortstop for a second, and then getting the third on the wild pitch, and then coming home and scoring.
Right. I mean, he's a spark plug. The guys. I mean, if you described him to a stranger, they would probably say, "Man, I bet he drives everyone on the team crazy, and he bothers or annoys people." But when you're around him in person and you live those things, you want to be around him every day. And so he's a spark plug on the mound. When he's in the field, at the plate, of course, he's got lightning quick hands. But he's also had to sit for the first time in his life, as kind of a role player, and he's handled it great, and he's a spark plug in the dugout too.
What did you see out of Chad on the mound today?
Maybe not as crisp as he was at his best moments in the first two games, but if you look at the whole outing, it kind of falls under the same umbrella as the first two. Enough strikes, gritted it out. He's tough, fearless. I would say the number one thing that stuck out tonight that I don't think occurred the first two times was a few too many rolling breaking balls, where he just didn't get through the thing, especially with two strikes. Maybe that's weather, maybe it's poor focus, or maybe it's a really well-coached George Washington team, because, that was the first thing Coach Anderson and I said to each other after the game, that we had heard that's the case, but we saw it and lived it there for 9 innings.
And then what did you just see kind of in the difference in the beginning of the game and the end of the game offensively, and kind of what was their pitcher doing to maybe keep you guys off the bases?
Well, I think the only way we got to him is we wore him down. It was kind of like facing Stanford. Williams was sticking it on us pretty good, but they made a couple mistakes and we scored. George Washington didn't make any mistakes, so really our only thing it looked like we could do was wear him down a little bit, and that's because he's obviously very good, but he also came ready to get after it today. He wasn't messing around, but I also think our guys were not asleep at the wheel, but they needed a little shoe in the butt. And to be honest with you, I know we got to earn our salary as coaches, but by the time the first pitch goes off, if we got to have a team meeting or a speech, it's too late. But I felt that's kind of like what we did need. But really, we just kind of needed a spark, and maybe it was a Gilbert play, or maybe it was just wearing them down enough where they had to go to the bullpen.
How nice was it then you guys have had a lot of hot starts, not really slow starts, but to see the slow start not linger for all 9?
Yeah, no, that's a positive. I mean, I really felt like we got outplayed like no other the first 7 innings, but you play a 9-inning game, and we always talk about you can't put too much value or too little value on any pitch, because it could be the one pitch that's the biggest one of the game. And same thing for innings, middle, late, early. You can't just be a good starter. You can't just be a good finisher. It's a 9-inning game, and it's good that we got a repetition of coming from behind, because I think we've only had 1 or 2 of those so far. So there's some negatives you can take away from tonight. I think we had 5 half innings in a row where we made a glaring mistake doing something. But if the glass is half full for you, like it seems to be, then it's good we got a repetition coming from behind.
You guys were swinging a lot on first pitches and stuff. Was that kind of a game plan coming in?
Well, we knew he was going to throw strikes and attack. I mean, they're pitchers. You've seen they've been coaxed to have a little attitude out there and fearlessness, and they're coming at guys just as we kind of brag that Chad does. They kind of had that same mentality, so you can't stand there and take all day long. But I also thought, when we are aggressive against pitchers, we usually take pretty aggressive swings where if you're sitting in the stands, you could see some hand speed or you could see some conviction. And we took a lot of swings early in the game where our guys slowed their hands down to make contact. And, kudos to, again, their pitcher, Cohen, for keeping us off balance. But we need to be a little better out of the chute.
What'd you think of the 2 home runs? Seemed like Luke's kind of sparked the offense there, and then Trey's was the dagger.
Right. Well, Luke's gotten crazy strong, and he's capable of doing that even into the wind, because he hit the ball on the side that the wind was blowing in from. And then Trey, it didn't matter wind, fire, you name it. I mean, he hit the thing so far, but he's a strong kid too. I mean, he's one of those sophomores that everyone says when they're watching our team on TV or in person, you can see how much more physical they are than last year. He wasn't anything like that last year. So I feel confident Sam is only a matter of time for him. I think he's been pressing a little bit. He put really high expectations on this season after his performance in the fall, and he should. But maybe that bled into a little too much pressure he'd been putting on himself. Didn't look like he was having fun. Didn't look like he was cutting it loose at the plate. And he kind of needed that, was Coach Anderson's remark in the dugout. And I think that's going to give him a big belly breath or whatever, Zen thoughts he needs to have. I think that's going to allow him to just play. And when he plays, he's pretty much as good as anyone we got.
How happy are you with Liam Spence's start? I mean, I think kind of knew the defensive reputation. Are you surprised that I was hitting the ball?
Well, I think what we're seeing out of Liam is what we expected when we recruited him. Frank first saw him, and then Josh got involved, and then I was the last one to see him after he was already committed. And we felt like we were getting a different version of Ricky Martinez, but kind of the same deal. With all due respect to Ricky, but he struggled in the fall and in the spring because he had a concussion, and then he had another injury pop up and wasn't able to get consistent repetitions, on top of being in a car accident last spring where he was out for a lot of the spring. So he's finally getting to play, and kind of like Trey, mentally playing when Liam's physically playing. He is like another Ricky Martinez, and that's the best compliment I can give him.
Couple more, Coach.
What's Hundley doing so good right now? It doesn't necessarily have the same notoriety as the Garrett Crochets or the big JUCO guys, but he's just as efficient on the
right.
mound.
And it turns into prospect versus player, and no disrespect to any of those other guys, because they're doing pretty well, but he's also reached a point where I think he's developed a little bit in each category of his game. I mean, I remember after the Georgia game freshman year, I was blasting one of our coaches, taking off some steam, and then I brought up a play he needed to make in that game. He's become an excellent defender. I mean, to the point where he thinks he's a shortstop. If he could hit a little bit, maybe we'd give him an inning on the infield. But every little area of his game he's developed. So you saw that he was a good pitcher as a freshman. If he's gotten a little better in each area, then obviously that's going to get taken to a new level. And the other thing is, last year's best friend of the pitchers, was obviously Coach Anderson was A, but B was our defense. And he's a guy that throws strikes, and if we play defense behind a guy like him, he's going to be even more effective than he would be on your average day.
One more. All right, thanks, Coach.